You find yourself on the streets of Ravnica, deep in Orzhov-controlled territory, walking briskly with the crowd as pangs of hunger stir in your stomach. The hair on the back of your neck rises as a bone-chilling sensation washes over you, the familiar feeling of a spirit hastily phasing through en route to their shift at the bank. Your boots splash against the wet stone as raindrops dampen the hood of your woolen cloak. Thralls screech overhead as hushed voices all around you conspire. Your coin purse is light, hardly noticeable relative to the moral weight of your dagger pulling at both your belt and conscience. Your target wanders unknowingly into the alley, and your dagger slips leather as you silently follow them in. This wasn't personal, it was a contract, one you would be rewarded for with blood money. And in all of Ravnica, no one knows and controls blood money like Teysa Karlov. The Orzhov Syndicate has no throne, no crown, no coronation. It rules not with blood, but with contracts, not with armies, but with debt. And in the Syndicate's gilded heart of shadows, one name outlasts even the ghosts. She didn't rise by might, she rose by precision, the kind of brilliance that makes demons flinch and spirits sign away their own silence. Teysa was born into House Karlov, a powerful Orzhov bloodline already thick with privilege, wealth, and politics. But even among the vultures of Orzhova, she stood out. She wasn't just clever, she was brilliant. As a young woman, she mastered the Guild Pack's labyrinthian laws, not just to follow them, but to bend them. By 18, she had already become an advocist, a law mage of deadly repute. She didn't fight with weapons. She used ink, binding the living and the dead alike to obligations most couldn't even pronounce. She walked into boardrooms and made entire bloodlines obsolete with a clause and a half-smile. The top of the Orzhov Syndicate sat the Obzedat, the Ghost Council, ancient spirits who had died rich and decided they weren't done collecting. They were the untouchables, the eternal rulers, but Teysa worked under them. However, this would not last forever. She saw something before anyone else did. They were a bottleneck, a shadow choking away the future of the guild. She hated them, but she never struck them. Instead, she waited, and then the perfect storm. The planeswalker Kaya, working under secret orders from the mysterious Bolas, was sent to kill the Obzedat, and she succeeded. The eternal rulers of Orzhov were no more. But Teysa, she didn't flinch nor lift a hand. She stepped forward. In the chaos that followed, she assumed the role of Grand Envoy, the highest mortal authority in the Syndicate. No ghostly whispers, no puppet strings, just her, and a contract that made sure she wasn't just leading, she was redefining what the Orzhov meant to Ravnica. Under Teysa, the Orzhov began to change, not out of mercy, but out of efficiency. The old ghosts ruled with fear. Teysa ruled with strategy. She didn't forgive debts, but she made them work for her, restructured, streamlined, profitable. Even the Syndicate's faith became cleaner, less superstition, more ideology. Where others saw her as ruthless, Teysa saw herself as a reformer. Not a hero, not a tyrant, but something far rarer. Someone willing to own the system so she could bend it without breaking it. When Nicol Bolas made his move on Ravnica during the War of the Spark, every guild was tested. But the Orzhov Syndicate, they saw an opportunity. Kaya, the very assassin who'd killed the Ghost Council, ended up allying with Teysa. Together, they stood against Bolas's corruption. Teysa could have buried the hatchet. She didn't. Instead, she leveraged it. That's the genius of Teysa Karlov. Every betrayal is just another page in the ledger, and every enemy a potential asset. Teysa's story doesn't end with power, or even end with death. At one point, she died, assassinated during the events of murders at Karlov Manor, in a ripple of guild violence. But Orzhov is the wrong place to expect rest. She returned, not with fire or fury, but with her paperwork in order, attending her own funeral. Now a spirit herself, she advises the guild from within and beyond, still calculating, still collecting, and very much in control. Teysa Karlov's influence doesn't just ripple through the Orzhov, it shapes Ravnica. She's a lawyer, a leader, a ghostwriter of fate. She teaches that power isn't a thing you seize, it's a thing you document. And once you've signed, well, you belong to the Syndicate.